He's the prime cut passer from behind the meat counter. It's Fairway Frank. And introducing a 6'3" center who's a cut above the rest. Say hello to Audie Crooks.
Keen Project Solutions, a modern engineering and construction firm, embracing technology, establishing industry-leading systems and processes, and delivering reliable results to our customers. At Keen, we are passionate about inspiring our team and our customers to achieve great things, offering the highest quality services as an industrial contractor to deliver turnkey projects. Our core beliefs drive us forward. Protect people, build relationships, drive innovation, and focus on end goals, bringing our customers' desired results to life. See how Keen can work for you at Think Different, thinkkeen.com. What's up? Welcome to pregame. Iowa State and BYU getting ready to go at it here at the T-Mobile Center. The clock here says 26 minutes from now. So we're going to get all the pregame stuff underway. I'll bring in Rob Gray here in a minute. Want to give you some nuts and bolts on today. After I thank our presenting sponsors, of course, Keen Project Solutions, Fairway Meat and Grocery, Central States Roofing, also my friends at Country Landscapes. It's going to be that time of year. It's going to be 80 today in Kansas City. I thought I said up there was about 72 or something. It's a beautiful day for some basketball at the Power and Light Center. Get a couple of things out of the way before I bring in Rob. Taman Lipsey warmed up like normal. I watched him for about 20 minutes, and he looked fine. I mean, who knows? I think he's okay. It's Taman. I told somebody earlier you'd have to cut off his leg to keep that kid out of the lineup. Keyshawn Gilbert is out today. I didn't get great vibes from him after the game yesterday. I would be surprised if he plays again in Kansas City. Feels like he's out until the NCAA tournament. They're going to say day-to-day, but it feels like he will be out until hopefully next Friday in Milwaukee is how that's going to go. So, bring in the grizzled veteran, Rob Gray. We are up here in the, hockey press box, I think is. Yeah. Okay, so Iowa State BYU played like 2 weeks ago.
10 days, yeah.
10 days ago.
Yep.
The Cyclones were out-rebounded by 30, and they lost by forcing 29 turnovers, one of the oddest games I have ever seen. I thought it was interesting, though. Deshaun Jackson and Joshua Jefferson both told me after the game that they were personally, embarrassed by their performances in that game. So I know, Lipsey injury, Gilbert out, all that stuff. I'm watching the bigs today. That's the first thing I'm looking at.
Yeah, well, look at how good they were in the second-round game against Cincinnati yesterday. Jackson shatters his career high at Iowa State with 15 boards. He had previous best was 10. Last time he did it was the Baylor game, so it had been a couple months. Jefferson's so good, 18 points, whatever, 8 boards, 19 points, 8 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 steals, whatever. So those guys are on point right now. Now, as Cyclone just took the floor, and as I speak, I think I've seen Richie Saunders hit about 12 threes in a row for BYU. So watch
that guy's going to drive everybody crazy again today.
Yeah, watch out. And the Hall guy was the guy who really did it. They made a big deal about him hitting an alley-oop dunk in that game when they got up 21. I think it was what put him up 21. Yeah. And you're right, one of the weirdest games I've ever seen with the turnover number and the rebounding disparity. But I think this will be a lot closer. Yeah, Keyshawn out, but we've seen Heisey come in and do better. We've seen more facilitation go through Jefferson. I think we'll see more of the same of that today, and I think it'll be another highly entertaining game with a lot of consternation at times as well, probably.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny. There were some BYU media people in the hotel this morning, and I started chatting it up with them, and they had the same thought. Like we were all looking back on how entertaining that game was 10 days ago at Hilton Coliseum. But you have to, from an Iowa State standpoint, first of all, you acknowledge how good BYU is. They're on this winning streak. Like, they're a phenomenal basketball team. They're going to be a brutal out in the NCAA tournament. Iowa State, though, you look back at that one. Jackson's coming off having the flu. Him and Chatfield get into foul trouble really early. You're playing Jefferson at the 5 a lot in that game. So it's like, how do you – because you're not going to force 29 turnovers today. That's not going to happen. But if the bigs can be good, they don't even have to be as good as they were. If they can just be – that'll even things out a lot in this matchup, even without Keyshawn Gilbert.
Yeah, and you've got to keep Keita off the offensive boards.
He was a monster.
He was unstoppable, and even though they didn't get a ton of second chance points, that's just extending possessions that wears on you defensively. And if they can come close to being even on the glass, this is a game I'd be comfortable saying that Iowa State wins the game. Again, the caveat: shot it great from 3 yesterday. Got to shoot it at least fairly well because Saunders is going to get his. Some of the other guys. So, I don't know what the line is, but I can't imagine it's more than like 2.5 either way.
Opened at 2.5. The last I had seen it was going up. So the sharp money was on Iowa State today.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I think, obviously Taman's something to watch. Do they limit him a little bit? Because nothing to mess with, as Vic Miller told us yesterday. I mean, that's part of your core. And you got bigger things coming up next week. But, I think the team's in a good spot. I think they're playing well at the right time. Playing their best ball at the right time.
I also think, too, realistically, I think Iowa State has locked itself into a 3 seed. I'd be really surprised if they're not a 3 seed. Probably playing in Milwaukee next Friday. Now, the location thing I'm less confident about. I do think they'll be a 3 seed. If they lose today, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I'm never the type that's like, go out and try – that's a loser's mentality. You try and win every game. You're playing for a championship. Big 12 championship tournaments, they mean something, okay? If they would lose today, to have a full week off wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either.
Yeah, there's no question. And, again, a game that wouldn't hurt you at all, no matter how you lost it, given how high BYU is, number 17 now. Obviously, 8 wins in a row. So, I mean, yeah, not the worst thing in the world, but as you said, you want to win. It was stirring. Those will be memories last season, 3 in a row rather than having to get 4, which is a lot tougher. But to beat Houston the way they did, again, a very shorthanded Houston team, but to beat the number 1 team in the country like a drum to head into the NCAA tournament, really good vibes versus losing in a quarterfinal. So, fire it up, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, game will tip off here in about 20 minutes or so at the T-Mobile Center. I like Iowa State today. I feel – I don't know. And again, I think BYU is one of the best drawn-up offenses in college basketball. I think they got brilliant offensive minds. There was just a lot of weird things for Iowa State in that game where it's just like – I don't know. I just feel like in this building – You're going to have a 3-1 Iowa State fan advantage at least. There are quite a few BYU fans here. This is probably the 3rd biggest fan base in Kansas City now that Kansas State is gone. It's Iowa State, Kansas, and then BYU, I would say, is in 3rd. I haven't seen Arizona's turnout yet. I'm guessing they're going to have a decent contingency because it's such a rabid fan base. But, yeah, I don't know. My feeling is that Iowa State wins. I'm not crazy confident. I would say I'm like 55-45, 60-40 is where I land. Do you have a gut feeling on this one?
Yeah, I'd probably be a little bit less optimistic. I still think they find a way, in part because of what you talked about, Jackson. I mean, I talked to Curtis Jones about that too, and he talked about how weird the game was. But, yeah, they took it pretty personally, the way that they were just flummoxed after, they held BYU scoreless for 6+ minutes. And you're down 9 at half. I mean, it's just a bad stretch of 15, 20 minutes in that game, and leaves a bad taste in their mouths. And I think they're going to, They'll have a bad stretch probably, but it won't be anywhere near that lengthy, and it'll certainly put them in a position to win, I think.
All right, he is Rob Gray. Thanks, brother. I will be here after the game. It'll be an abbreviated post-game show so I can get to the locker rooms. It's kind of tricky being this high up to be able to get to the locker. Like yesterday, it was crazy. This woman would not let me in the locker room. It was wild. And I had my badge and everything, and she would not let me go back until I had an escort. I've been doing this 20 years. I'd never had that happen to me. But she was pissed. She was not letting me go back there. So I need to make sure I'm down there and ready to go so I don't miss out on anything today. But appreciate you all hanging out. Thank you to our title sponsors, Country Landscapes, Keene Project Solutions, Central States Roofing, and Fairway Meat and Grocery. Be back right after the game. Follow us at Cyclone Fanatic on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff for updates today. Later.